Hi. In this video I would like to address something. Last night I saw on Facebook an article being shared, and this morning I saw it again and saw people sharing it and liking it and putting comments on it, and then I decided to comment on it myself as well. And then I decided I should make a video about this. It's basically, I think the article is called How I Lost My Faith in Tony Robbins. It's very easy to attack somebody who's successful, who's more successful than you are. The article was, I don't know who wrote it, I don't remember what that person does, but a lot of people sharing it, reacting on it, are psychologists, or psychotherapists, psychoanalysts, psycho something. Yeah, maybe psychos. Maybe that joke crossed your mind as well. There are a few things that a lot of people, especially those people criticizing somebody like Tony Robbins, don't realize. If you have emotional blockages, there's a 99% chance you will not be able to resolve that through the mind, because emotions are not in the mind. Like I described before in other videos, the mind is a computer who calculates. It's the GPS that will get you where you want to get. The soul is the one deciding on which direction to choose. If the mind starts doing that, then it's just behaving based on previous experience. And that's not really a way of learning new things or starting to do new things. And it's limiting yourself to your past. The soul is way too big and way too complex for the mind to understand, to dissect it and to make a science out of it. Because the soul is not something you can scientifically explain, and especially not explain its behavior scientifically. Because every soul is different and every soul will react differently to different things. That's why psychology has had so much trouble to be acknowledged as being a science. And at the end, it's people who are living in their minds who decided, okay, we will make it a science. Funny thing is, and I'll come to the second point, which is actually the first point. Do you know what psychology means? It does not mean the science of the mind. It means the science of the soul, studying the soul. So, this is not an attack on people, but if you want to resolve soul issues, why do you start attacking the mind of people and start manipulating the mind of people and come with things like NLP, like reprogramming the mind, or mindfulness? And it's like taking a Chinese joke that is based on playing with words and then trying to translate it in English and expecting the Americans to laugh about it. There's no way playing with words in one language, or let's say it's a very small chance that you can have the same wordplay in another language. It's very related to the language itself, to the culture, and maybe many other things. And that's why many jokes cannot be translated. It's the same as going in an English-speaking country and then come with a Chinese person, or yourself, when you have learned Chinese, start speaking Chinese to people and expecting them to understand you and do exactly what you want. Or they have a problem, they ask you how to solve it, and you tell them in Chinese how to solve it. Do you really think that will work? No, it will not. You need to communicate the same language. You need to communicate on the same language, on the same level, on the same frequency. So, if somebody has an emotional problem, which is generally a pain, then there is no real science. The only science that I can imagine is that you need to go to the root of it and then look what's really causing that pain, and then try to go deeper and deeper and deeper until you really find the true root. Not just, yeah, but somebody said something, yeah, but why did that, when that person told you something, did that hurt you? There's something behind it. So go deeper. And that's what psychology doesn't do. Psychology wants to determine if you have this and you do that, then you get that outcome. And it applies to everyone. Okay, there are a few exceptions. No, that's not it. And then people start saying that Tony Robbins is just screwing with people and ripping them off and taking their money. And I'm not defending Tony Robbins. I've seen the guy. Seen many videos of him. I've seen what he said, I've heard what he said, I've seen him interact with people, I've seen him help people break through, and I recognize a lot of things because I was also present when people broke through. Hell, me myself had my breakthrough. I had multiple breakthroughs, and it's when you have your breakthrough that something changes, and it happens instantly. And it's also one of the things that was attacked in the article. It cannot happen instantly, you need to work hard and for very long. Yeah, well, that is what people want you to believe, because that's how you stay in the system of slavery, where a few people are ruling the world and they make you work for them. And you can say this conspiracy theory, but look at the company you're working in. There's a boss who doesn't want you to think too much. He wants you to work, produce, generate money. Do that one thing that he orders you to do, and do it well. Don't get sick. Don't call in sick. Don't take holidays. Don't take time off. Stay long if he needs you. That sounds familiar? Well, this is happening on the biggest scale you can imagine. When I say a few people are ruling the world, at the end it's, I think, 6 families who own all the banks in the world. Because all the banks are part of groups, and those groups are part of other groups, and at the end it's a few people owning everything. And before we had that, we had kings, emperors, and we had religion institutions who were ruling the world as well. And all institutions have been manipulating people to hold the power over them. And personal development and people working in personal development, like Tony Robbins for example, but many others, they look to the individual. They try to help you to discover who you truly are, what your true potential is, and how you can start expressing that, how you can start implementing that. So, if you, during a workshop or during an event, have an aha moment where you realize something fundamental about yourself, then on that moment you changed. And your whole life changed from that moment on. It doesn't mean that within a second you were super rich, or you were not unhappy anymore, or all your problems got solved. No. But you changed course. And then it's up to you to start implementing. You realize something about yourself, you focus on it, and you start working from that point. That's your new starting point. And often this means a complete change in your life, because you start to change to behave, and you start to change your behavior. You behave in a different way. You start doing things differently. You start reacting differently to people. You put different goals. You decide to change jobs because you want to do something where you feel at ease, because you don't want to be ripping off people because your boss is telling you so. No, you choose what feels good for you inside. And what feels good for you inside is not coming from here. It's coming from here. And here is telling you, like, this feels good, that doesn't. It's like a mother knowing when something is wrong with her child or when everything is okay. Not here, in here. And what happens when we grow up, people telling us, common sense is important and you need to do this and you need to behave like that, and they start dictating you how to live. And that's when you start to lose who you are. Funny thing is that since the end 60s, the people who got born started to be different. So they call them the New Age kids. And the more time has passed, the more the newborn are more open and are different. So the old systems from the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, even the 60s and 70s don't work anymore for those kids. And that's why a lot of people, young people, behave differently, are not in the mood to be slave to a boss in a company. They decide to set up their own business, to do things their own way, because that's what they feel is the best for them. And even if they struggle to make a living and stuff, they are happier, often happier than those people who have this stability in a job. And I say stability like that because there is no stability. And that should have been clear to you already, because many years ago there was this company called Enron that completely collapsed, and was one of the companies in the world that nobody ever thought it could collapse. So people working there were very sure that till the end of days they would have their income and their pensions and everything, and then puff! Suddenly it was non-existent anymore. So, please do get out of your head. Being in here will not make you happy. Going into here will. I guarantee you that. And yes, you may find some scars on your heart, and you'll have to heal them. But once those scars are gone, you will just have an open heart, feel a lot of love, being able to connect very easily to people. And when you are true to yourself, nobody can trick you. Nobody can truly hurt you anymore. The hurting is mainly the ego. It's your ego that gets getting bruised. And ego is very connected to the mind. They're working together. So connect with your heart. Stop looking outside you for solutions. Look inside you. And if you need some guidance, it's fine. Look for some guidance. Nothing wrong with that. But let that guidance also be focused on you connecting with your heart. I wish you a beautiful day.